I think it's clear he's not one of the favourites to be indoors, and I struggle to see that. Like MK Dons, I don't think he should have been singled out to be taken off at half time. Now, I don't think he was by a long stretch the issue in that first half there. He then comes off the bench at Harrogate, plays a part in the third goal with a really good pass into Norris. He comes on today, looks probably our best player. And I think he got man of the match on the supporters coach for playing, was it 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And my biggest gripe is it's looking at the long-term issue at the club as well. And we sacked Mickey, and it was to prepare for this season. So we prepared by playing 4-3-3 the back end of last year, pretty much in all the games. You then have a summer to recruit players to fit that system. You then have a pre-season to work on that system and fine-tune it even more, and then you should be absolutely flying and really have a head start when the season comes, like Carlisle did with Paul Simpson the season before last, like Leyton Orient did when Richie Wellings came in, like Stevenage did with Steve Evans. They all followed that model. They came in, this is how we're going to play. They added who they wanted in the summer to fit that system, and they were ahead of the game come the start of the season. Now we've done the first part. We've then given Dawes a job. Very odd circumstances still behind that appointment, in my opinion. We then in the summer signed two strikers, very good strikers, Kristian Dennis, Luke Norris, who both played in the front two last year. We are now playing Kristian Dennis either as a number 10 at the top of a diamond, or as it was today on the right side of midfield, where he was looking just like an old centre forward stuck on the wing, and that to me is inexcusable. I think it shows abysmal recruitment from the club. I think it shows abysmal management, and that to me is why I have no faith in any of the management team. I have no faith in the chairman anymore. And Nigel Atkins must be sat there, someone who does know football, has had success in football, and thinking, what the hell is going on here? You've got our last year's player of the season, top scorer, and for a club that want to develop and sell players, are probably our main sellable asset at this moment in time. I think he's got a year and option for a third year on his contract, so quite a strong position. And he's the one who's being frozen out of this team. Yet Paul Lewis is playing. He's played 90 minutes today. He's played nearly every minute of every game that the indoors can get him on the football pitch. Chris Merry, young technical player, he finally gets on the pitch because we need a left back. Rhys Hughes, bags of technical ability, the sort of player who we should be bringing in, working with to develop into a sellable asset. He's not sniffed a minute of football. And if you looked at why was Rhys maybe in and out last year, you'd say it was probably the physical part of the game. Well, he's just had a full pre-season. We've got 100 coaches at the club now, this team behind the team that we keep getting quoted. Have they not worked on the physical side of his game? If they haven't, why not? And yeah, I'll stop there before I'll save me rant for the next part.
No, you're right, Tom. You're right. And I think the biggest frustration is, like, was Ian Dawes appointed for us to play 4-2-3-1, or was Ian Dawes appointed with the job of us winning football matches? We don't have to play 4-2-3-1. And like against Salford, you needed a shape change because we were getting absolutely bummed down the left-hand side, and no help came. Nothing came from the bench to change things. The same goal pretty much happened twice, and then there was a worldie for his hat-trick. It was a good finish. Today we got lucky, whereas in other games I think a few have gone in that we were unlucky that have gone in. I think against Harrogate we were probably a bit lucky as well that we didn't concede, but I think today we got lucky that we were still somehow in that game, even with Tom Davis's own effort off his own bar and everything like that, that we were still somehow miraculously in that game when we deserved to be nowhere near it. But the reality of it is yeah, your point's perfect there about Kristian Dennis. Kristian Dennis was the best part of 20 goals last season for Carlisle. It wasn't from playing an inverted winger position, because that's what he's been asked to do at Tranmere. Meanwhile, he took Kieran Morris off which, okay, to be fair, Kieran Morris didn't have the best of games. But when you're chasing a game, to be leaving players like Paul Lewis on when, you know, reality of it is, like, so if Kieran Morris, I heard it even in his interview after the game, Dawes, is, you know, he named him as missing a big chance in the first half. For me, that was a half chance. It just got us off the, you know, off our seats because it was that dire. He had the whole half of the pitch to run on his own with 2 players tracking him, and he was actually as wide as we went all game, which is probably 10 yards off the touchline. But from that, likes of, you know, yeah, you can't lambast a lad for you know, not hitting the target there. He had a go. All right, he would have wanted to do better, but I just can't get round this. We didn't. Dawes is not Pep Guardiola. He needs to forget the tactics sometimes. That old phrase of answer the question the game's asking you that Mickey used to say. Well, the reality of it is, I think we're probably seeing there that's what experience takes you. Today was a day for a Mickey Mellon kind of performance and kind of grind it out. But there was no grind in that team at all today. No one put a sprint in the midfield. There was very few challenges in. Yarni was absolutely miles off the pace of their winger, and he got his booking, and I was terrified he was going to get sent off. But he's a centre-back playing against a young, a fast, tricky player. Likewise, Chris Merry on the other side battled really well. I thought second half, he had a great second half against a lad that first half showed him a clean pair of heels. But yeah, Josh Hawkes, the ability by the bag load compared to what was on that pitch today. Yet someone seems to be too either arrogant or inexperienced to find a way to work him in to a system that just wants to play this 4-2-3-1.